I get questions in the DM all the time about why was this not a good deal? Pace, why am I getting lowball cash offers if you're a real estate agent? Or, man, this agent told me all I do is send lowball cash offers. And so I decided to make a video all about that. What is a lowball cash offer? Why do investors have to give you a lowball cash offer? And what does that look like on the other side for a real estate investor? So I get sent a deal the other day in Mesa, Arizona. And he says the ARV is $460,000. Now, for those of you guys that don't know what ARV means, it means after repair value, which means I'm going to buy this house in Mesa and I'm going to add value to it with money, time, and my crew's expertise. And I'm going to make this house worth $460,000 after a renovation, so after repair value, ARV. Okay, so he sends this to me, says this could be worth $460,000. My price to you is $315,000. And I said, absolutely not a deal. Now, if you're a real estate agent, you'll look at that and you go, there's no way. What are you talking about? There's a $140,000 spread here. Are you kidding me? Actually, more, $145,000 spread. You can't make money on a $145,000 spread? Now, we're here with the No One Left Behind Challenge. Have you guys enjoyed the No One Left Behind Challenge so far? Yeah! Now, we're about to get started making some calls. If you guys ever want to see me making calls, we'll put a link in the description down below. We have this really cool thing called Heroes of the Hustle that just goes through a bunch of agent calls that I have. We'll put that down below. But this week, we are making calls for you guys. Who set appointments today? Anybody set appointment? Oh, look at this. This is, whose first appointment was it that you set? Amazing. So about half the room set your first appointment. Pretty freaking awesome. Okay, one more time. Everybody set their first appointment today. Incredible. 2? Amazing. I hope I close it. You set 5. Stop bragging. Proud of you. Really proud of you. Is it like life-changing to be in the room and actually do the business? Yes. Okay, cool. So what's going to happen is you're going to run into real estate agents that you're talking to and you're setting appointments for me or other people, and you're going to get agents that go, you're not going to be one of those lowball cash offer people, are you? It's like, are you reading off of a script, lady? Did they give that to you at Keller Williams? Is that like the Keller Williams script?
Yes.
And so when I hear that, I don't get upset. I just understand where that real estate agent has been in their life, which means they've done 0 flips. Anytime an agent tells you, you're sending me a lowball cash offer, that means they've never done a flip, they're not real estate investors, and they're really asking you to help them escape the rat race of being a real estate agent. So be patient with them. They have no idea what they're talking about. An agent will put a house on the market for $460 because Zillow says it's worth $460. Meanwhile, a real estate investor like me wouldn't even buy it for $315. Why is that? Why would I not buy this house for $315,000? Let's go through the math. But Heidi on my team actually looked at this deal and she broke down the math for me. And I want to pull this up and share this with you guys. This little graphic and this spreadsheet that we use to underwrite our cash deals. I'll give you guys this link in the description down below, okay? So this is how this works out for a real estate investor. If I said yes to the house at $315, did I buy it at $315? I sure did not. And this is where a lot of brand new wholesalers have no clue that their clients, the fix and flipper, me in this situation, I'm actually having to close escrow on this property and pay for closing costs, which will probably be somewhere around, I'd say, let's just say $6,000, okay, depending on the state. So what did I really buy this house for? $321,000? Okay, well, still the answer is no. You want to know why? Because a lot of times when I go get a lender to give me money for this, I'm paying them a percent up front for that loan. So it might be another $3,000 in points is what it's called. Another thing that I'm doing is I'm turning utilities on. Ooh, a lot of people don't think about that. I might have to pay a transaction coordinator, right? I might have people on my team, those types of things. So let's just call it $325,000. First and foremost, $325,000 is still, if $315 wasn't a good deal, $325 definitely is not, okay? Real estate agents don't pay attention to this. They just go, well, look, this is a big spread. It's huge. Okay, now I own the property. What are the obligations that I have in order to turn this $315,000 purchase into a $460,000 sale? Repairs, renovations, right? Okay, cool. And renovations always work out perfect, right? Your budget's always hit, contractors are always on time, all of those types of things, right? In fact, Ingrid, have you ever had a contractor run off with your money before? More than once. She had one where a contractor took $100,000 And by the way, her and I did a deal a couple years ago where the contractor, licensed contractor, did not do the work we paid him for, and we couldn't flip the house. I ended up buying her out, and I refinanced it and kept it as an Airbnb. Welcome to construction. And when anybody's ever going to sell you a deal, they will never put that into consideration. They will assume everything is going to go perfect. The agent, the wholesaler, whoever, okay? So smart fix and flippers, people that are buying the house and going, I need to make a living from this. My team will probably make about $1 million this year. We'll do 20 to 30 flips this year, and we'll net $1 million. Why? Because I say no to a lot of crap. So 315, I'm actually buying for 325. The renovation budget, just looking at the photos, the renovation on this property is $80,000. Okay, it's a full renovation. It's a 1970s home, hasn't had anything done to it, and it's got single pane windows. It's got an old hot water heater. It's got an air conditioning unit that needs to be replaced. It has all sorts of things. And is labor less expensive or more expensive nowadays? More expensive. Okay, cool. So I've got an $80,000 renovation. So I bought it for $325. I'm now into it. How much money after my renovation? Okay, $405,000. So hopefully we're tracking. I'm sorry, YouTube, but we're at $405,000 now. We're all into the property. Or are we not all into the property? What else are we missing? What else am I paying for during this time frame? Am I paying for, are utilities free? No. Oh, you're telling, okay. Taxes, insurance, all of those type of things. What about the hard money lender that I borrowed money from? Is he free? It's interest only, right? By the way, if you ever need money, email money@pacemorby.com. Jade right there. I was going to say beautiful brunette, but she's changed her hair color in the last couple of days. It must be like when you move to like the boonies, you change your hair color. So if you ever need money, we'd be happy to fund your purchase and your renovation, but that's not cheap, right? You're going to pay 12%, usually 14% sometimes. If I'm paying 12% interest on this money, what is my monthly payment on that 405? $4,050. So we're going to if I do an $80,000 renovation, how many months is that going to take me? I'd say about 3. Let's play it safe on 3. How do I know that? Here's a good rule of thumb, my friends. For every $1,000 that you spend on a renovation, it should take 1 day of renovation, okay? And this crew is going to work 80 days. They work Sundays? No, usually not. $4,000 a month times 3 months of renovation. Okay, well, then I sell the house in 1 day, right? Like I don't have to wait for escrow or anything like that? Ooh, okay. So average days on market in your area, ours is about 90. That's until we get an offer. That's not when the deal closes. So you've got another, let's just call it another 3 months of being on the market, and let's just say another 1 month of escrow. So we've got another, what is this, 8 months times 4? What's 8 times 4, guys? It's $32,000 in interest payments we're gonna make during this renovation. Now, some dummies will say, and those people are dummies, and if you're one of those people that flips houses with their own money, you are also a dummy. I was also a dummy. Some people will go, well, why don't you just use your own money? I'd rather go lend my money to somebody else, make $32,000 in interest without flipping the house. Why would I use my money to flip the house when somebody else will give me their money to flip the house? Like, I want to do all the work to not make any money? That's crazy. Now what am I into the house? 405 plus my 32, right? Oh, I'm into 437. Okay, interesting. Now I have to sell the property. And when I sell the property, that's free, right? Like I sell it for 460 and I get 460. I don't? Real estate, I thought this whole National Association of Realtors, they stopped paying agents commissions. I thought like I could negotiate the commissions with agents. Okay, so a couple of things, just so you guys know. Agents deserve to get paid, first and foremost. This whole NAR lawsuit that happened is the most bullshit thing on the planet. Here's what I mean by that. I'm not going to put my listing on the market and tell the buyer's agent, good luck, I'm not going to pay you. They won't show my house, period. As the seller, I need to make sure I'm budgeting for paying the buyer's agent and the seller's agent, which is my agent on my team. Now, our agent on our team, do you know what we pay? Like 1% probably? 1.5%. So the agent that represents our team, our house, okay, it's an agent that's like, hey, we're so happy to just keep getting consistent listings from you guys, 20 listings a year, that we'll do it for 1.5%. It's pretty good, okay? My wife would have done it for like $500, but I don't want my wife dealing with agent stuff. It's a job of a therapist is really what it is. Then the buyer's agent, we're gonna pay them probably 2.5% to 3%. Why? Because we want them to show their buyer our house. You want to incentivize people properly. So let's add this up, 1.5, let's say 2.5, so that's 4% is my total commissions, but that's all I have to pay for, right? Like, the buyer's not going to come and do an inspection on the house and then ask me to repair any little inspection. Well, Pace, you just did a full renovation. Why would they ever ask for inspection items if you just did a full renovation that's fully gutted? Because they paid an inspector $650 to inspect my house. You think that that inspector is going to come back to them and go, hey, thanks for the $650. I didn't find one thing wrong. Right. Is that going to happen? No. Where are my agents in here? What's the average length of an inspection report? Probably 30 to 60 pages. Even on a brand new house, agree? On a brand new house built by a builder, it's going to be 30 to 60 pages long. Why? Because the inspector is getting paid $650 to give them a robust report. Now, that inspector on the buyer side is going to come and give them a list. That buyer, especially right now, is it a buyer's market or seller's market right now? It's a buyer's market. So the buyer is going to come and ask for other things called concessions, which means free shit. Okay? It's going to be, hey, will you buy down my interest rate? Hey, will you do this? Will you do such and such? Blah, 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 blah. They're going to ask for all sorts of things. So should we allocate just commissions here? Or should we maybe add another 2% to make sure that I'm covering all my bases for concessions, repairs, etc.? Does that make sense where that comes from? Okay. So let's add another 2% for concessions. So I'm 6% of my sales price is what I'm going to pay. What's 6% of $460,000? 27,000 what, Kelly? $27,600. So what am I now at? How much did I actually buy this property for? So I bought this house for $467,064. 464? Okay, 464,600. Looks like a great deal. I just spent 8 months of agony dealing with contractors, permits, choosing paint colors, dealing with real estate agents, dealing with buyers coming in and out of my house, dealing with all the things so I could write a check for $4,600. Do we see why this is no longer a deal? So you need to have the confidence to know that when we're offering things to real estate agents and they say something like, oh, you're one of those lowball cash offer people, you just need to understand they've never done a real estate investment in their life. And I want you to understand something I didn't know when I first started, and some people watching this are going to be real estate agents, and they hate me when I say this stuff. It's not meant to be malicious. It's so new people actually understand how this business works. Did you guys know that over 70% of real estate agents do not own their own personal residence? That's an interesting one. Did you know close to 87%, it's a little over 86%, 87% of real estate agents have never actually invested in real estate. Yet they are the people that we have to go through to buy real estate and buy our personal homes. That's like going to a barber who's never cut his own hair or had a haircut. That makes no sense. It's like going to a car mechanic that doesn't own a car. So when you guys go to real estate agents and they give you guff and they give you friction, you just need to understand and be patient. This person doesn't know any better. They don't know that this is not a lowball cash offer. This is an overpriced cash offer at $315. Now, can I argue against that with them? No. A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. So if I go to this agent, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, they're not going to listen. Do you know how many times I've tried this in the past with real estate agents? They send me an opportunity. I send them my comp, and I'll go, hey, what comp are you looking at? Because I'm looking at this. Guess what they never do ever again? Ever respond to me. One, I made them look stupid, not on purpose. Two, I proved them wrong, and that didn't help me. The best thing to do is just go, hey, this is not a good opportunity for me. I don't think there's enough, meat on the bone for us. Let me see the next opportunity. That's the way you overcome that. Now, the best way to overcome this is actually go and find people that are in significant pain, because this person is not in enough pain. And here's the story of this deal. This person's in foreclosure. They're saying, if I could get $315, which gives me the ability to walk away with some money, pay off my mortgage, I'd be willing to let this go for $315. All right. What happened is I said, I'm good at $270. I could do this at $270. What'd they do? They let their house go to foreclosure. You can't win all of them, and that's okay. One of the first skills that you're ever going to learn in your life is just say no to stuff. Remember when your mom told you say no to drugs? Some of you guys did not do that. I did. Say no to bad deals. So dare to say no to bad deals and be confident. Now our team, last thing I'll say as we wrap up this video, our team has to look at about 40 deals for us to buy one. Okay, so what we're doing is people will send us 39 opportunities. We say no 39 times, and we say yes on the 40th. People just don't know how to negotiate low enough. And we'll hopefully get something under contract this week on a cash offer, but we'll definitely get something under contract on a sub 2 offer. Why? Because I'm not fighting on price on sub 2, I'm fighting on terms. When you're fighting on price, think about this, $270 270 is 50 cents on the dollar what Zillow is telling them it's worth. That's a pretty significant uphill battle. And I did this for 8 years, going to people's living rooms and explaining to them what their house is worth and why this, that, and the other. And the deals I got were the people that had enough paint. That's it. And I also would get one-itis where I'd be like, well, you're gonna lose your house. And they just didn't care. And I would focus on this lead instead of moving on to the next. And the answer is you just gotta move on to the next. The second you realize they don't have pain, move on to the next person. How many people had really good calls today with agents that were like super freaking cool? Okay? Remember those calls. Jamie, you had a good call today. You want me to call her on Friday. And that person was like, became your best friend over one call, right? You're going on a cruise. Welcome to working with real estate agents. Some of them are going to be the nicest people on the planet. Most of them are. And then there's going to be a couple of, anybody have some rude agents today? Okay, about a little bit less than the people had. You just move on to the next agent, okay? Those agents won't make it long in the business. Being rude to people, like you are the buyer of the product they're trying to sell. Isn't that crazy that they're being rude to you? You imagine Walmart yelling at you as you're walking into the store? That's crazy that a real estate agent would ever be rude to somebody who's calling about the property they're trying to sell. But welcome to the business. It just is what it is. So hopefully, do you guys learn anything?
Yes.
Say no to bad deals, right?
Yes.
All right, say no to bad deals, and we'll give you guys 2 freebies. One is the Heroes of the Hustle, watching me call agents. I think the Bill Predabon call is in there, the one I make $200,000 on one call. Go check that out, it's really good. And then the other one, I'll give you the spreadsheet that my team uses to underwrite and look at cash deals to determine whether it's a good deal or a bad deal. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.